Hey folks, it's Landon Rivers. Say, are you ready to commit tax evasion in the Kingdom of Celenheim? Me too. Let's go to jail and break out in record time. This is Imprisoned. Come on! Well, good going, kid. You tried to protect your kinsmen from the predatory tax collectors, and now you're in the slammer. Now the blissfully ignorant bureaucrats are about to discover they're under attack, and you're a big enough sucker that you're gonna fight on their side still for the entire campaign. Imprisoned is the short tutorial level of Enclave, but with it being the starting level, that makes it all the more important for the speedrun. You want to start a runoff on the right foot, so you want a good level 1. It's not hard to restart if something goes wrong, so execution on this one is crucial. Make a new file and be sure to set it to easy so you have unlimited checkpoint access and you kill things quicker for the entire run. Enter your favorite name and let's get started. You wake up, an assassin says hello to you and takes a ballista bolt to the face. Spam enter to get past the intro cutscene. However, as mentioned previously, you don't need to worry about the timer for the speedrun, neither for the single segment nor individual levels until you actually start moving. There's a few ways we can start off. Looking at exactly how we're positioned when the level begins, we can strafe forward and to the left without moving the mouse and we'll be exactly in the opening to the left. You can also turn your mouse at the beginning to enter the opening directly. Strafing is technically slower but is more reliable for me when I make that first sharp turn to the right. Either way, start the timer when you move and head out the first room. You want to turn as little as possible because any amount of turning, even the short burst turning, can cost some time. You might also experience throughout this first level and many but not all of the levels to come that your foot might get caught on objects and uneven mapping. Keep in mind that if your foot does get caught, that this will cost you at least 0.2 seconds in time, which doesn't seem like much on its own, but if it happens often throughout an entire 30-minute plus run, that can add up. Super precise routing doesn't always get you around this, but you can try jumping over problem spots, although the jumping state actually slows you down a fraction. When we get to this first lever, know that for this lever and all other switches, cranks, buttons, and levers in the game, that they all have a pretty liberal activation area. You want to be very touch and go with them throughout the game. Hit the lever and quick turn towards the stairs. We'll get the sword on our way back. As we head up this way to get the torch, behind us the gate to the sewer starts to open and we see a dark tunnel. We can't go through this dark tunnel without the torch because there's unfortunately an invisible wall in the darkness which doesn't disappear until you pick up the torch. Try and hug left when heading around the corner, and as you make this jump over this torch, make sure not to turn before jumping to get a nice high jump off. Head up the stairs and collect the torch. A great time to pick up the torch is about 18 seconds or less. Equip the torch, quick turn around, and head down the stairs. Rocks will fall from above, and if you get lucky, they could push you forward a little, cutting up to a second off your time. Do a high jump again over the torch and head in a straight line towards the sword. Picking up the sword on or before 30 seconds is a great time. Now right when we pick it up, we can equip the sword with Q and go right into a false crouch stance. We do this so we don't potentially bump our head when dropping into the tunnel. Keep holding C and head through to the sewer area. After you go through the tunnel you were originally supposed to crouch for, you'll drop down right when some rubble falls. This rubble can push you forward and help your time if you get lucky. Follow the path and we'll get to our first ladder in the game. So for the ladders in Enclave, you can jump while pushing forward and climbing, and this can greatly help the climb speed. However, you need to be mindful of the pattern in which you're jumping. If you spam too quick, you actually won't cover that much distance, and it could throw you off backwards. If you overshoot the number of jumps, your character might actually glitch out and fall a little lower than you were. It's all about finding that sweet spot of how many jumps you do to stay on the ladder and minimize the amount your character is doing the default climbing animation. For the first ladder here, I do about 7 or 8 jumps with varying tempo on how I hit the spacebar. I do about 4 slower taps and 4 faster taps, and that gets me to about this second to last rung on the ladder, which is where I consider the furthest up save point. At this point, I jump out of the grate, I hit the switch, and I quickly go into a false crouch stance because the gate is slowly going to rise and we want our character to be able to go under it as soon as possible. Right here is where we find our first trigger area. In order for the wall to fall down behind us, we need to walk across this invisible border right here. It will trigger a rock fall and a sound of a guy dying, and that lets us know we're able to quickly turn around and continue on through the wall collapse area. I do another false crouch stance here when I'm jumping on the blocks in case I want to avoid bumping my head on the upcoming ceiling. Head on through, letting the drunk goblins be. Open the door and head up the stairs, hugging the left wall to avoid the barrel fall. Continue up the stairs, and a little after you see a bomb dropping, get ready to make a preemptive strike on a goblin about to appear. Get to the top of the stairs, and as you start to go through the door, get ready for a running combo to use against a goblin that might be in your way. This goblin is the first instance of RNG that can cost you. Sometimes he moves out of the way, sometimes he's in your way, sometimes your sword doesn't hit him. There's a lot this goblin in particular can do to slow down your run. Jump on the table to head in a straight line towards the key, killing or avoiding the goblin at the end, then immediately turning around, jumping on the table, and heading towards the locked door. Open the door, and when you lose control of your character and the screen fades to black, split. Following all this advice, you should be getting a time of less than a minute 30. Congratulations on breaking out of jail. Imprisoned is a short level, but still is important to help get your run started on the right foot. Join me in my next video as we protect the outpost from the Dregatar. This is Landon Rivers, see you there.